Do you think that's completely due to your current president?
Yes.
And there was a woman that was filming for a TV station, and she was filming about the traffic. Dealing with a safety problem for decades.
Especially if you like surfing.
Right, that is a definite surfer's beach. Professional judges from Guernsey, right? Guernsey. Nice.
San Salvador used to be one of the most dangerous places in Central America, in Latin America, or even in the world.
Welcome to the shiny streets of San Salvador. What neighborhood are we in now?
Miramonte.
Yeah, so we are in Miramonte, near the San Salvador Centro. It's around 5:30 here in San Salvador, and I am happy to be accompanied by my guest, who is actually a local from here. So, can you please tell us what is your name, where are you from, and how old you are?
Sure. My name is Emerson. I'm from San Salvador. I have lived here my whole life, and I'm 41 years old.
We have a history together, right? Because I actually lived with you and your family in June, wasn't it? How long did I stay with you in June?
3 weeks?
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks, I think it was. So let's start off, since you are a local Salvadorian, you can tell us how it is to live in the city and maybe compare the safety of now to before.
San Salvador used to be one of the most dangerous places in Central America, in Latin America, or even in the world. But since the last 2 years, San Salvador has become safer. So now we have more security. You have noticed that we have more security now. San Salvador is it's a beautiful city. We have a lot of traffic, but
as you can see here in these streets, actually, yeah, I actually today was making a video in a park. A roundabout park called Beethoven, and there was a woman that was filming for, was it CPS or CTS, a TV station, and she was filming about the traffic today, just a couple hours ago, so that's funny. So yeah, there's a lot of traffic, but you said overall the city is very calm and safe compared to before, correct?
Correct. It's calm. It's actually now one of the safest cities in America. The murder rates are similar to what Canada has right now, so it's
really low murder rates. And do you think that's completely due to your current president?
Yes.
Who is your current president?
Nayib Bukele.
Do you like Mr. Bukele?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with someone that's improving your country so much, right?
Yeah, it's a real improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel very safe in your city, and I have lived in many cities in my life, and especially Latin America. I just came back here to El Salvador from Peru. I stopped in Costa Rica, San Jose, and I thought that city was going to be super relaxed, super safe, and I felt pretty unsafe there, and I feel way safer here in San Salvador, which I thought was not going to happen, so that's very interesting. It has recently come to my attention that I have not given the proper introduction to tell you why my videos and my information is so useful. You see, I've been traveling since 2013, nearly non-stop. Many of it has been within Asia and Latin America. I spent 5 years in Vietnam. And just 5 years ago, I started my full-time lifestyle as the digital nomad that I am today, where I spent at least 1 month in the following countries: Argentina, Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico, Guatemala, and El Salvador. And in this time, I've been doing everything that I've been bringing to my channel here at Generic Expats. Now what this means is that I've been arranging my own accommodation and tasting the local cuisine, checking out the cost of living, looking for entertainment options, checking to see if these places are dangerous, learning how the weather is, and just the overall well-being of a foreign expat living in each one of these new cities. Have you ever had any instances with any people trying to steal your things or any bad things like that?
In my whole life, yes, but in the last 10 years, no, not at all.
Okay, so when you were younger, it happened once or a couple times?
A couple times.
But now, since your country has turned into one of the safest places, do you think that will happen in the future?
No, actually, I feel very safe. I think that's not going to happen. I hope it's not going to happen very soon. But in my whole life, I have had some bad experiences, but it was a long time ago, maybe 2009, 2010, so more than 10 years ago.
From what I understand, your country has been facing and dealing with a safety problem for decades, like 30 years. Has that been about right, 30 years or so?
Correct. Before that, we had a civil war. Since 1992, El Salvador was one of the most dangerous places in the entire world.
And now do you think it basically did a 180 now from very dangerous to very safe?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think any foreigners coming to live here would feel uncomfortable, or do you think it's quite safe, and do you see many more foreigners nowadays more than before?
Yes, actually, I have seen more foreigners in the last couple of years. San Salvador, in El Salvador in general, is becoming a safer country. I have noticed that we have receiving more tourists from all over the world.
Yeah, including yours truly, Mr. Generic Expats, Eric Peterson. Yeah, I came here more or less as a tourist, and yeah, so it's definitely something I noticed, and it's good to hear your perspective on it. I definitely enjoy living in hot countries. Do you enjoy the heat of San Salvador?
Yes, I'm used to this weather.
Is this country located completely in the tropics?
Yes, this is a tropical country.
And tropical countries require tropical shirts. Great flowers and great tropical shirts for this tropical heat. What altitude is San Salvador?
San Salvador is around 750 or 800 meters.
Right, so being that it's a tropical country and it's less than 1,000 meters, we're gonna have pretty hot year-long weather, right? Let's talk about the high and low on average. So what does a typical day go up to? Let's say now is the rainy season, right? So what is a typical high and low in the rainy season?
In the rainy season, it could be between 25, the lowest, and when it's really hot, it's around 37 Celsius.
Okay, so quite a big difference. So let's say around 30 is average. Welcome back to a weather checkup with Generic Expats. It is Tuesday, June 20th, around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It is pretty overcast here as it is middle of rainy season, and the temperatures, I have to admit, are quite reasonable and very comfortable compared to Santa Ana, where I stayed the past month. It is around, and let's do Celsius, at around 28 to 32 Celsius, 32 real feel, and in Fahrenheit that's about the low 80s up to 90 real feel. So this is what we have to deal with in the summertime temps, where in San Salvador it is quite a bit cooler than down in Santa Ana at about 600 meters. We're at about 750 meters or 800, so it is quite a bit cooler, and going up to Santa Tecla, it's up to 1,000. It's probably even more comfortable there. This is what the weather is in the rainy season, San Salvador. That's the highs, and then the lows will be at night when it goes down.
It could be 20.
Yeah, usually around 20, right? Sometimes down to the 19 or 18. That's what I was feeling when I came here in June. We talked about the rainy season temperatures. Let's talk about dry season temperatures. Is it a little bit hotter or basically the same weather in dry season?
In general, it's basically the same, but some days it's hotter.
In the dry season, it's going to be around the same, 30 to 35 highs, and then around 20 or 18 lows at night. Is that about right?
Correct. In some cities, For example, in San Miguel, it could be above 40.
I haven't been to San Miguel. It's a little bit too far to the east and I didn't have any time to go visit. But yeah, that one is going to be quite a bit hotter, right? Let's talk about the times of year for the dry and wet season. When is the typical wet season here?
The rainy season goes from May to November, and then from December to April, it's the dry season.
What time of year do foreigners or expats or tourists, when do they normally come? Do you know more or less?
I think they come mainly in March, April.
I think maybe some of them come like during the Easter time of year, like during the vacations. Do you see a lot more maybe in December, January, February when it's cold up in North America?
Yes, we usually receive a lot of tourists or Salvadorians that live in Canada, in the US. They usually come to visit their family in December.
There are maybe 3 major cities in your country, right? Can you tell us what those 3 major cities are?
San Salvador, which is the capital of El Salvador, Santa Ana, and San Miguel. Those are the main cities.
The weather in each city is a little bit different, right? Because the altitude is a little bit different. Here is one of the highest altitude cities in your entire country, right?
Correct.
Are there some small towns that are quite a bit higher in altitude?
Yes, Chalatenango has one of the towns which is higher in altitude. For example, there's a small town called El Pital. El Pital is around 2,500 meters, so it's cold there.
Right, that is quite a high altitude. That elevation will definitely keep you very, very comfortable and very chilly at night if you're looking for the chill. Whereas I think most of your country is not quite that high. I remember in Santa Ana department, there was some places over there that were around 1,500 meters. Do you remember any of those places?
Yes, we have some small towns in Santa Ana, Ahuachapan. We have Ataco. We also have Apaneca. They are around 1,500 meters, something like that.
Right, and that's actually a really good altitude to live in. This is the same altitude that Antigua, Guatemala has. Medellin in Colombia. It is what you consider the Goldilocks zone. So if you're looking for a really good climate, I mean, that area he just mentioned, Acatenango and some other places, those are probably some of the nicest places in terms of comfortable weather I've seen and I've been to since I visited here. Is there a certain place that has the best weather for you in the country?
Chalatenango, definitely.
Chalatenango is your favorite. You like feeling the chill and going up there and getting the breeze, huh? Let's talk about the coast. What are some of the main places in the coast?
El Tunco. El Tunco is the most popular beach in El Salvador. It's hot, but it's a nice beach, especially if you like surfing.
Right, that is a definite surfer's beach. Professional judges from Guernsey, right? Guernsey.
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 Let up and writing. Priorities, first white, second blue.
Nice. Nice. Doing it. So good.
11 minutes remaining.
All right, what is that one? What's the score?
God, what do you reckon? 6.8. Nah.
5.5 again? All right, 5.5 the same. Can you tell the difference when you go from San Salvador down to El Tunco? Can you tell the difference for the temperature and the humidity?
Sure, it's hotter. It feels like 40 degrees.
Every time I go down there, I'm like, wow, it is so hot. I went down from San Salvador and from Santa Ana down to El Tunco in that area many times, and I'm like, I can't believe how hot it is over here. A place like that, you need to be comfortable with the heat, right?
Yes, definitely.
Do you like going down to the beach to get the heat, or you just prefer going up into the mountains, right?
No, I prefer going to the mountains.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But it's a place that you need to visit as well. You need to go to El Tunco and all the beaches around there.
Right. So if you're looking for a small town vibe, you can find really hot on the beach, right? El Tunco.
Definitely.
Yeah, and if you want to go up in the mountains, you said there's Acatenango, El Pital, places like those where you can really feel a lot more comfortable on cooler climates, right? What is your favorite place to visit besides Chalatenango here in your country?
I would say Boquerón.
Boquerón here in San Salvador.
San Salvador.
Why do you like it so much up there?
It's close to the capital city and nice weather, nice restaurants, and the food is delicious.
Yeah, there's a lot of good restaurants up there. I actually went to a pizza place up there, and there's a great view of the city. It's like, what, 1,200 meters or something, 1,100, so the weather is a lot cooler, it's a lot nicer. And we can see it right there, can't we?
Yes, definitely.
It's right there. Let's take a peek at our lovable Boquerón National Park here in San Salvador. It has been a pleasure to get information for you and your account of living here in this beautiful city, your beautiful country. Is there anything you want to say to the people watching this video?
You should visit El Salvador. You should, come here.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.